So on the 15th, coming up here, that's when Mars squares Neptune exactly. And then, but I'm noticing, kind of sneaky, that the Sun on the 16th will be squaring Mars and Neptune at the same time. Well, the Sun will be conjuncting Neptune. Conjunct Neptune in Pisces. But the Sun is going to square Mars. That is a volatile time as far as that aspect of the Sun square Mars. I would mention it because I'm a Martian person. I'm Mars ruled, and then I have a Mars Sun aspect, but it's a conjunction. And so I'm here to inform people about the upcoming volatility. See, I didn't realize that. I kind of looked at it a little bit, but then I'm looking at it again on the ephemeris here, and it's on Wednesday that Mars hits 25 degrees, conjunct Neptune, and the Sun is cruising up, and the very next day, it's looking like Mars is going to square Neptune for like 3 days because it's going really slow. So then the Sun comes up on Thursday on the 16th, and on the second day of squaring Mars squaring Neptune, and it conjuncts Neptune, which is it's an illumination of the Neptunian vibe in Pisces, right? You know, you have Sun in Pisces, and so but it squares Mars. So that is a volatility. The Mars square Sun. Somebody who's born with Mars square Sun, I would stress that that's a blindsiding, kind of accident-prone, really kind of hot-headed person. I mean, worse than I could possibly ever be. I have a Mars conjunct. I'm Mars ruled and Mars conjunct Sun. And it's just energy. When we're talking about the Martian people and the Mars energy, Aries, it's just energy. It's just energy. And the Mars people have to watch out. Like, are they just spewing off to spew off yeah, it's just energy. Be more productive. They can be, and it's really important for us to be physically outletting properly, otherwise it's kind of backfiring on us. We have to do physical. We feel better. As a matter of fact, doing physically strenuous activities, because that releases the energy that's there. Lots of energy. I mean, it could be, we can call it hyperactive, but it's like maybe it's just healthy or something, because human beings are capable of some amazing things, and that's what the Aries and the Mars vibe is doing. And with the Sun, of course, all of this stuff is. But so seeing that, I realized, I don't know why. I mean, and then I don't know why I'm the first to hear about it, like from looking at it in the ephemeris. It's like, whoa, this thing is really lining up at 25 degrees. It's called a T-square. Well, no, I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's a T-square, but no. It's the Sun is conjuncting Neptune. Mars is squaring the Sun too. So this is volatility comes to my mind again about the gaslighting. Okay, so man, could be some signs you just watch out in your personal life. For sure, you know, I point at men, but it's really the physical apparatus. Be careful, you know, what is going on, what is going to go on, I don't know. I hold space for healing. I think the Sun's vibe going next to Neptune is highly healing. If you know anybody with Sun conjunct Neptune, babes, I mean, the Neptune aspects are so illusory. It rules illusions, and so If we're not on the highest tip, we're going to think everybody around us is schizophrenic and just like, okay, but really, are they? What's really going on? Are they just on their way to being a shaman and they are not around the right community right now, and then they're going to send them to a funny farm in no time and have them taking the wrong drugs? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Most of the time, maybe most likely, even they don't have an understanding themselves properly about their receiving system, which is their mind, and the whole discipline of physical life. That's in question. Like with the Sun conjunct Neptune, that's a very spiritual aspect. In Pisces, wow. I have to tell you, I'm kind of a higher vibrational being, and I'm just giving myself the space and all the time in the world to feel out, like what I need to do in my life, right? A lot of people are. And it's a mess because my bills are overloading, and it's because transformation is at hand for a lot of people. And I don't want to get too personal on it. I mean, I see there's a way out. There is. I mean, I am being stubborn to the core, which is my heart foundation. Um, I'm not short. Nobody is short of being interfered with. If we try to work with people, that hasn't been able to go very well with the Saturn in Aquarius, which now we have Saturn in Pisces, which talk about that Neptune and this aspect with the Sun and Neptune, but Neptune in Pisces at the later degree of Pisces is, okay, so we can look at how many years that Neptune has been in Pisces. My guess is at least 20 years. I mean, gosh, I could look at it. And so at one point it conjuncts my Jupiter. I should look at that. When did that happen? Very spiritual aspect, I mean, if you, on the highest tip, Neptune and Pisces, because they are the same, water. Water, we're talking about it, babes. I mean, look at it. It's out there. Look at the life that it holds that we don't even know. We do not know. 72% of the Earth's surface is covered with water that we have not explored, and the life underneath it, and what is really happening there. Like, we are actually just on this, we're just sitting on this, on the dry part of this more vast, liquid, um, life-giving thing, amazement. It's a radiation, of course. It's a healing place. It's just amazing, right? There isn't any words for it, but it's the existential experience, and that's what I'm experiencing because of the opposition to my Venus and how that I am Jupiter and Pisces, only planet retrograde in my chart, and um, with Saturn going into Pisces, like I say, now kind of illuminating with Neptune in Pisces. Pisces is getting a crystalline, um, like a flash of visuals, I guess is what comes to my mind, that the way Saturn would illuminate structure within that sign or element, which is water. Pisces is like, huh? You're gonna give that structure, huh? Well, we know how that water takes on any structure. It's actually that's why it's considered an intelligence in and of itself, because yes, it's holographically containing um, whatever you put in it. Like, that's what plant infusion is when you boil or you keep a plant inside of water underneath the moon, the sun, in a certain phase, and you're infusing the energy of that plant into the water, and then you drink that water, and that whole plant, the reason why it's here, goes into your body. It's we shall learn more about how to do all of that stuff. How to bless our water, and how to reprogram it, and how to how what is happening there. we see the effect. Can we become more conscious of our manifestation of these effects, And of course, getting back to mArS squaring these things, we have to, of course, be careful what we say, and um, of course we are here working out a karma that is really individually our own, but as a collective, it's generally the same scenarios about traumatic abuse and exposure to non-humane systems, something that is going on here with the organism. There's a big question in what is it. See, that's what nEpTUNE Pisces, the whole expression, would try to convey, this ocean of existence. And I would advise to seek alone time, seek seclusion if you are not privileged enough to experience that already, and start to listen, because as a collective, we're going to continue to experience an influencing through what? Well, that really depends. It depends upon each individual how they spend their, I was going to say, spend their mind. What do they focus on? Focus. You see, I'm more into talking about focus rather than thinking. Because you can focus on your thinking, right? Or you can focus on something else and manage your mind into a discipline of awareness, like with awareness. The mind can never be awareness. What I meant was you move the thinker out of the way, and you become conscious of its thinking, but it's more like you are focusing on something with awareness. That's focus. And then your mind is receiving what is essential there, like what would be useful. So that there's where I say, right there with that act, there's a natural filtering happening. You will naturally filter out. And it's like with purification of water. Can you imagine how much is being tossed out and filtered in order to get a transparent situation of water that you can drink it, let alone the reprogramming of it. There is a factor of, we need to see, I don't know much about it, but you got to filter it, babes. And so I assume that the vibrational frequency and the programming of water in a different way with the vibrational frequency is in fact filtering also. But how do we grab what has been purified over the mud? So I'm going for, like, okay, how that there is literal ways to distill and purify water. The analogy there and the metaphor is pointing at the amount of shit that is left behind and that has to be tossed out before you get. So that's just the analogy. That's the way you use your mind, your purification system. That would be really, it's your focus. It's your focus. It's not your thinking. It's your awareness. What is it that you turn your attention to, your awareness to, and then how is that, because that's what's going into your mind as what? It's either junk, or you are creating a mandala in there you know, because that's the way discovering the truth and reality is. Whatever it is, some of it is solid, some of it is unsolid, and we can talk about water forever. I love that, right? Neptune. And um, I'm not worried about my financial situation because of this transition that I am having to go through. Boy, it's very heavy duty, folks, and thanks for sticking with my communication as far as what I'm communicating now and how it will probably change. It's going to change for a lot of us. I call myself humanity. There is Saturn moving into Pisces, where everybody's going to feel this. I was going to say, like, for lack of better vocabulary right now, it's like a clamping down on this field that is Neptunian. And it has to do with our imagination too, which is not a bad thing. You know, we need structure to our imagination. We need to get a hold of it now and put it in a box, right? I hate to dare say that, but you know, that's the way. What is in the universities after all? Is it that, or is it something that's coming from like a clamp down from who knows what? Is it, you know, is it really true intelligence? And you can bet that that is going to be changing in front of our faces with Saturn, which is the teacher. And Saturn is the disciplinary and the teacher and um, the law kind of a thing. Man's laws, unfortunately, it could be that, and it could be complete um, capitalization because it's Saturn, you know, ruled by Capricorn. Saturn is proudly ruled by Capricorn. Those two. Okay, Satan. God, just get it over with. Satan, who is going to capitalize on what next? If the water vapor is in the air, they'll probably capitalize on the air and trying to create a structure with that. It's already there, saying, you know, God, how long has this been going on? I'm going to check out how long has Neptune been in Pisces. Not that that is pointing at we're going to bottle the water up and try and get the air bottled too. But now we have Saturn in Pisces after so many years. I think 30 years. It's really never been. And you can find out when the last time Saturn's been conjunct in Pisces. The last time it was conjunct Neptune, I think, was in the 90s, 1996, I think, or 94, if I remember right. When it was the last time that, and so that means that, well, it's been at least 20 years that Saturn has been, Neptune has been in Pisces. Thanks for listening to this. If you want to know anything about Neptune, water, babes. Are you confused yet? You know, just relax, relax. Take a deep breath. Now float, float. That's the way you do it, right? You take it, just relax. Don't thrash about it. You know, just after, you know, when you find you're in that ocean, just learn. Have you learned how to swim? The river was bad enough, you know. Um, when we get into the ocean, it's quiet and peaceful. It's usually right before we get to the ocean. It's hitting level, and now it's not so turbulent, and that's where I'm heading. I don't really have the same life that a lot of people do. My bills are going to shit, in other words. I don't. Bills. I love the way they call it the bills. Isn't that cute? Um, those are little ducks, you know, they just want to, they want to eat you. Just have to feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them, feed them. Cute. I want to get involved in bills again. I do. And I think that, you know, my time is coming. It'll probably be this month. I have to weed through these people, this society who doesn't think that we are worth anything. They're in the middle of devaluing everything. That's the way they take it over. And by the way, it's the same to cause a depression. A depression is just to say, yeah, and the wheat that you're doing, it's not $1 a bag, it's 10 cents a bag. Deal with it. Do you agree? And it's like you have to, and it's like, guess what, babes? Fucking A, man. It is time to go Christ consciousness and With Saturn in Pisces, it's going to be in Pisces for 3 years. And then by the time, okay, in 3 years, 2026, Neptune is going to be going into Aries too with Saturn. And I'm like, all right. At least there's going to be like a scholar that's next to this Neptunian vibe before it resets completely the entire freaking zodiac, going over my ascendant. I am somebody who is I'm just going to tell you that I'll try to share what we are doing here as spiritual people, and the truth about the disciplines behind that, the lifestyle, perhaps the things. Surrender is big, comes to my mind. To just, like, you don't have any choice. That's what surrender is, right? And that philosophy is very real. And anyway, we can't begin to wrap up this conversation to illuminate how Pisces, what is going on now, the entrance of Saturn into Pisces, and then it eventually conjuncting Neptune. But I was trying to focus on this coming week on Wednesday, the 15th and then the 16th. I hope you're just bottle some water up, get some water going if you can. For me, it's kind of passed a little bit, but it still squares my Venus. And I'm literally worried about my water being turned off because I haven't been able to pay the bill. I have had some help with it. Um, I hate this subject matter. I will be getting on my feet financially a little bit more. Like, say, I can get a job, because what has happened is I'm getting my health back and I feel like I can go out and work because I'm eating food. And I just needed a break. I just needed a break, and I was God, I hate this fucking Neptune, fucking Venus shit. And now Mars is squaring my Venus. Mars is squaring my Venus. And that is, it's just awkward. Romantically, my happiness, my love life, I have a Venus in Virgo anyway, I just said it's like, it's awkward anyway. It's kind of funky, weird, it's mutable. I'm talking about it here. It's because my Venus is Mercury ruled. And I come to the conclusion. I mean, I'll post this thing up here about talking. I mean, what the master was saying, only I can understand at this point. I mean, pardon me. Anyway, thanks for listening to all of this. Didn't need to record it, but I did. Me noticing that Sun will be squaring Mars, while Mars is squaring Neptune, right? Because the Sun is going to be conjuncting Neptune. That's the square happening. And I don't know why the astrologers, I haven't heard that emphasized. But to me, that's like, oh my God, the planet of war and the planet of ego are now going to start conflicting. Okay, so the planet of ego is next to Neptune, creating what kind of projection? Who knows? Because yeah, this is a very strange time. Very strange time. Like I said, bottle some water up. Go out into the wilderness or something if you can. Try to get on the side of the mystical place that we live. Very magical and amazing. There's instant healing possible with all of the toxicity, and if there is spiritual warfaring, I'm here to tell you it's kind of tough, and I don't know how to tell you. But going general, there is a way to I guess you could say, through practicing ritual, but really it's just Surrender and listen and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. In such a way that, like, okay, so you might be asked to change your entire diet or your lifestyle, or you know, things are going to start changing with Uranus still moving forward in Taurus. We're going to have a new eclipse season, and it's at 0 degrees, the new moon in Aries, and at 0 degrees, very powerful place to have a new moon. It's a good idea to forethought and, you know, really consider your own garden, your microcosm. It's even more than that. It's going into your inner sanctuary. It should be happening now that you feel that kind of cocooning. You know, that's where we are with the new year, the sun at 19 Pisces. Because with Jupiter in Aries and the way that what Mars is doing, and the way that how the sun is there with Neptune squaring, it's a test about our communications. It's a test about our communications and what is feeding into our physical, behavioral life. Really, our nervous systems that convey out, in and out, through the plasmatic field. You know, like I said, there's a filtration system that, you know, your rituals daily, even minute by minute, just awareness, babes. To maintain awareness is vital. That's where it's up to each individual. And, you know, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, that's what's going to start going in and saying, what up about you, individual? What up about you? Each person is on that level, on a level of connection, either righteous or not. And Pluto is going to test that. If it's a righteous connection, it's going to be more like, I can feel it. Yes, we're right. We're right on track. And I'm so glad you can hear that from the heart. It's the heart connection, because Aquarius rules Uranus. The very electricity on the opposite side is Leo. It's the heart. And more understandings can come very intuitively, but there is the factor of your surrender. Like, okay, so there could be something blocking your understanding about a lot of things, and this is talking about now humanity itself, who it might be, if you've listened to the American dream and how to live, you are now approaching some health problems that you need to start filtering it out. Start filtering whatever it is that has been suggested into you that in fact made you, I call it fake illnesses, because it came from a fake source. It's a fake life, and now you have a fake illness. Great. Will you please put that fake life away? And then your fake illness will go away. Fast. It might happen over the next 10 years that we will experience a real life food shortage. Very easy for that to happen. How come? Especially in America, here in prison America, babes, it's a fucking institution. So all they got to do is just pinch off one freeway or something, and nobody's going to be able to eat unless they figure out if they have a cricket farm in the backyard, right? Or did you learn how to fast? And did you stock up on food? And do you have a network of people that are probably farming somewhere? Did you learn, like how to eat a cricket? I don't know. Pluto is going to make you squirm about all of that. You know, it's the truth. You know, like, look at it. And have you ever seen where your food comes from? Did you ever look at the dirt? Uh-oh. Why did I mention dirt? That's where your food is grown out of. That's what you have to push around